everyone, Rachel Profit here with another Success by Design Nugget. I am a white female with reddish brown hair that's in a ponytail today. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm wearing a gray t-shirt with an American flag version of the 105 West Fair. I'm in my office as usual with my epic sticker wall behind me. For today's nugget, I'm visiting the topic of rollout model again, but today I want to focus in on template approaches. If you missed the last nugget, you can check it out here. A template approach can be a great way to accelerate your deployment to a variety of business units, warehouses, or countries, for example, and increase your time to value. If you plan to use a template approach, you will want to consider a number of things, including the who, what, and how of your plan. If you're planning a template approach, consider adding an additional slide to your solution blueprint review template PowerPoint, or include a Word document, for example, that outlines your approach. The things your solution architect will want to discuss and know about include the following. First is the who. When discussing the who, they'll want to know what the physical breakdown of your rollout will be and to ensure that you have a business representation for each group. For example, if you're rolling out warehouse by warehouse, then you'll want to ensure that you have representation from each warehouse. In some cases, you may not need every warehouse to be represented if you have warehouses that are exactly the same or very similar, or representation from a group manager, for example, who oversees 2 or more warehouses. If you're rolling out country by country, your approach might take one of 2 basic approaches. In the first approach, you could include someone from each country and business area in the requirements gathering, testing, configuration, and so on. This is the most ideal approach, especially when you're trying to centralize your business processes where possible. Then, for each country, you address country and region-specific requirements. Or, in an alternative approach, you might include only representation from the first rollout during the first rollout phase. This approach is generally more risky, and requirements from other countries might surface the need for rework later on. If this is the approach, you need a very tight change control process and mechanism for handling differences as you approach each country. Next is the what. When using a template approach, it's critical that you have a business process focus and clearly define which business processes will be centralized and templated. Keep in mind that some groups may be more affected by the templated business process, and you will need your change management plan to be updated and the approach to be documented appropriately. As you identify each business process for the template, be sure to document where there is change management required in each group so that training, documentation, and so on can be updated appropriately. Finally is the how. When you're using a template approach, you will also need to outline the tools and techniques for rolling out the template to each group. For example, you might want to create a special template company that will store all the global configurations and then use the copy company feature to duplicate the company as a starting point. You'll need to make careful considerations about your data migration approach and where appropriate decide if data will be shared. Making changes to a data sharing policy mid-rollout will be difficult at best. Each phase will still need to plan for additional time for business requirements gathering, configuration, testing, mock cutover, and so on. And just because phase 1 goes amazingly well does not mean that further rollouts will. You need to stay diligent and follow all the same steps for a successful go live on each phase. That is all for today's Success by Design Nugget. If you have questions or comments, be sure to put them in below. And as always, remember to subscribe, like, and click the bell. And we'll see you next time on Dynamics 365 Unboxed.